Praise the Lord, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to this edition of Fantline. Got a good one for you. Now, poor communication. It is the bottleneck and backlog for the foundation of any type of growth. And this is true across the board, whether it's communication between husband and wife, parents and children, supervisors and employees, pastors and congregations. The list goes on, which leads to the breakdown of businesses, divorce, low morale, and declining churches. And today's chaos is no exception, and it's reflected of our society. Miscommunication, or lack of communication, and no communication is what we see today. It's what we see today, and there is so much evidence of that. Communication. I mean, you just look at the situation with of wearing a mask. You got some states that will buckle down on it, and then some states are kind of lax and lenient, and you have individuals, same thing, some believing that the coronavirus is a hoax, others are in full force with it, and then some are kind of somewhere in the middle. But the thing is, people are dying. For some reason they're dying. Okay, that at least maybe we can all agree with that. But again, the lack of communication. And also, and sometimes we anticipate of what we want to hear. I'll give you an example. You can listen to someone's story and get the whole thing wrong, because as you're going along and listening, or somewhat listening, you're automatically preconceiving ideas, names along the story, that whatever it may be. And with communication, we have to listen intently. We have to want to listen. We have to want to know what's going on, and we have to want to seek truth in whatever's being told to us. You see, now you may not think about it in this way, but clear communication is an essential part of effective leadership. Whether it be in business, you have a business that could be, it could be a great business, but the leadership does not get its point across, and therefore the business itself will be lacking. It will not be able to grow to its fullest potential. You can have a husband and wife. You can have a great man and a great woman, but if they're not on the same level, if they're not communicating the way they should, then that union is bound to fail. And it's happened so many times. You can have the president. He has shown so many times to miscommunicate or not want to take in information, and he's been the bearer of wrong news, so to speak. Now, he likes to say things are fake news, but he is the bearer of a lot of wrong news. When you are the leader, especially of a nation, you have to have a higher moral integrity about yourself. And with him, it shows that he's not about that. But I digress on that because we're talking about communication. A football team or any other team, communication is key. Especially looking at a football team, you look at the vast array of coaches, not to go along with, say, 53 players. The coaching staff can be, many coaches. Everyone has to be on one accord, even though you have a head coach, and all those players and all the rest of the coaches, assistants and so forth, everyone has to be on one accord. Communication is key. And you can have some of the best players, some of the greatest players. But if that communication is off, if that communication does not filter through everybody throughout that team, you're bound to have an unsuccessful season. And it's happened many times when you can have, on paper, looks like a great team. But once they get out there on the field, and that lack of communication shows, they're doomed. They are doomed. That lack of communication will hinder a marriage. It will hinder a team. And like I said, a husband and wife could be fine people, great people, but communication is key. Psalms 19:14 says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer." Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Meaning that whatever I say, we're still talking about communication here, whatever I say, let it be acceptable to you, Lord. Let it be from my heart. And when you put the Lord first, especially when the words that you speak and coming out of your mouth, when you put the Lord first, now you're on the right track. Now you're on the right plane. As we progress in this life, we have to seek the Lord first in all things, in everything. Now, we've said this over and over, and it's so true. We have to seek the Lord first. And when seeking the Lord first, especially in communication, then we're on the right track. Colossians 3:8 says, "But now you must put them all away, be it anger, wrath, malice, slander, and any obscene talk from your mouth." Because with communication, sometimes we can get angry, sometimes we can get upset. And it's okay to be angry, and just like the word says, but sin not. But we should check ourselves. We should watch ourselves in if we're angry, not to say things that we may regret along the way. Now, I've seen at my job some guys, and real good workers and seemingly good guys, but they let their mouth overtake their thought, and they wind up getting fired. Or in a relationship, you get angry and you let your mouth overrun your thoughts and put you in the doghouse, or get you separated, or even divorce. Communication. Don't let obscene words, don't let words that you may regret come out to the forefront. You have to check yourself. You know, there's something I'm constantly trying to be aware of, and that's the thing. You have to constantly try to be aware of your thoughts and also the words that you speak. And I know sometimes I'm the type of person, I'll try to carefully craft what I'm about to say. And because I want to communicate, I want to convey of truth and of what I'm feeling, and I want it to come across. Sometimes it doesn't always hit the mark. Sometimes it may be my fault. I didn't say it correctly. I didn't gesture correctly. And then sometimes it could be whoever I'm talking to that they didn't clearly listen, because they are automatically are having thoughts that they want to interject themselves. And see, and that's the key, whereas when listening to somebody else, we have to have clear intent of wanting to understand what that person is saying, even though we may come to the conclusion that I know where this person is going. That anticipation part is what I had mentioned before. Still, let that person, allow that person to get to that point, the point that they're trying to make. Listen, hold back, because I know a lot of times we'll want to jump ahead and cut them off. Hold on, just let them talk, because they may come up with something that you may not anticipate. Okay? So just let them speak and listen. Listen. We've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. The 2 ears are for a reason. Listen. Versus the 1 mouth. Listen. Okay. Communication. It's about being able to listen to others. And like I said, this means not only listening with your ears, but also being able to comprehend what the person is saying. Now, I just mentioned that. Being able to comprehend what the person is saying. Listen. And that's something that's that we're failing to do today. Especially today, is we're not wanting to listen. Everybody is trying to overtalk one another. And it seems like the higher the volume, the more you feel like you're getting your point across. And it's just not the point, because everybody's trying to outdo one another and they're not listening. As long as I get my point across, and I'll say it loud, and then the other person is listening, because then they're trying to come back with a one-up on you. So all you have going on is that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and nobody's getting anywhere. Another one, having empathy. And I spoke about this. Having empathy is so very useful in communication. To listen to someone and also try to place yourself in that person's position. Don't look at them as, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. Listen to what they're saying. Okay, yeah, that you can come up with a listen. You can come up with, well, you should have did this and you should have did that. But try to put yourself in their place. Try to put yourself in their position. Empathize with them. And you know, sometimes this may be difficult to do, but still, the thing is, try to, okay? Because the thing is, and we all have this, we all go through this, whereas we're going to want someone to do the same for us, okay? So just keep that in mind. Another one is, did you know that encouraging others while you're listening, and they say they have problems, when you encourage someone else, it not only uplifts them, okay, but it also uplifts you. And did you know that? Yes. It uplifts you. So try to be an encourager also. Instead of just browbeating someone, you heard their situation, you heard what's going on with them. Try to be an encourager. See, that's where that listening comes in also. So try to be an encourager. They'll appreciate it, and also in the long run, you'll appreciate it. Be aware of others. Be aware of their emotions. Be sympathetic to their misfortunes. Again, empathy. Giving positive praise. Just being there for someone. Sometimes someone comes to you, they just want to let it out. They just want to let it out, to bear their burdens. So listen. Instead of cutting them off, and then you want to tell your problem, your situation, okay, that can be for another time. Allow them to speak, because they came to you for a reason. They saw you as someone that they can speak to. In most situations, they realize that I can't talk to everybody else. So they picked you for a reason. So therefore, take it as an honor also that they chose you. They chose you for a reason. So listen. Don't browbeat them. Listen. Again, we're talking about communication. And also, body language in communication. You know, someone can be talking to you, and you're looking around and you're fidgeting and you're going back and forth, and that's telling them that you may not be interested. You may not be fully engaged in what they have to say. Or you can be going like this, or acting like you're nodding off. Again, and true, now I know some people, they can come off as putting you to sleep, but still, make that effort. Make that effort. Again, they chose you to come to, all right? They chose you to come to. So check your body language. Look like you're attentive, okay? Look like you're attentive. Again, ears. Listen. Listen. All right? Listen. And finally, now when you're communicating, try to be to the point. On the flip side, try to be to the point. Try to be, straightforward. Don't be long-winded, because overall, we as people have short attention spans. Especially in this day and age, we like to have things quick, to the point. Say like a TikTok video, it's a minute long, that's it, boom, out of there. So now we're in that type of society where we want things instant. So therefore realize, okay, don't be long-winded, just get to the point. Again, communication. We want communication. We want good communication. We want great communication. Again, try not to cut off the other person, because you want to get your 2 cents worth in. Alright? And basically, that's the gist of it. That is the gist of it. I tell you, as I tell myself, I try to check myself all the time. And especially if you get into a heated discussion with someone, you just really want to get your points across, and basically, it's a elated feeling about yourself. But at the end of the day, you want to get a point across. But mainly, you want that person to understand what you're saying. Now, granted, not everyone is going to accept what you say, or hear what you say, take in what you say, digest what you say. But as long as you continue to improve upon yourself, because that's all That's the only thing you can change, really. You can't change that other person. You can't make them listen to you. But as yourself, as long as you continue to grow, to evolve, to improve how you communicate to other people, cutting out the offensive language, cutting out the trying to overtalk one another or overtalk the other person, keep that in mindset and watch yourself grow even more. And maybe as we check ourselves, then hopefully we can be the person that God has in mind to be able to communicate with one another, and then we'll be on the right path. Enough said. Fantline.com is where you need to be if you're about growth and evolving as a person. And Fantline.com is about truth. Oh no, not my truth, God's truth. And if you're not about God's truth, then this isn't the website for you. If you're into gossip, then this isn't the website for you. And if you're not into learning and growing as a person, then again, this isn't the website for you. So come on, have some knowledge dropped on you. Or are you scared of what you may find out? So go to Fantline.com, or if you're into a listening mode, go to my podcast at anchor.fm/Marvin-Fant for Fantline 100. Either way, you'll learn something, and every so often I'll give away cash prizes, but you'll have to check out Fantline.com. Enough said.